This is the story of a beautiful beach, a beautiful woman, and unrequited love. After my divorce in 2015, I met, dated, and fell head over heels in love with a lady called Bernard. I wanted to marry Bernard very much indeed and proposed on more than one occasion, but unfortunately things didn't work out as I hoped, and after a period we went our separate ways and both had other relationships, and then suddenly, both finding ourselves single again, 6 years later, unexpectedly, out of the blue, she got in touch and suggested meeting up. And we did meet up at a car park in Warrington. In this film, I'm going to recreate and tell the story of that evening and introduce you to a possibly hidden gem on the coastline of North Wales, which you may previously not have been aware of. So, roll forward a few years and here we are back at that same car park. Warrington and the car park of dreams. I got here in my Ford Galaxy, parked up, waited, and before too long a beautiful woman in white walked towards me. Now, unfortunately, the lady in question who participated in the actual date was unavailable. And although I did put a Facebook post out asking for a beautiful woman who was willing to wear white and meet up in a random Warrington car park, I was unable to find one. None came forward. But then, fortunately, my best friend stepped into the breach.
Hi, it's Mustard.
Not quite the same, but he'll have to do. And as we met for the first time in several years by the side of the Manchester Ship Canal, which actually turned out to be the River Mersey, we both jumped into my car and we set off without really knowing where we were going. Although there was an idea at the back of my mind that perhaps we could go to the seaside.
Turn left onto Arby Road, then turn left.
Thank you, honourable and wise guidance lady. I saw it coming.
At the roundabout, take the 4th exit onto the A548 towards Flint.
Welcome to Wales. And I genuinely sent them a thing saying, look, I'm a reverend minister of the church, I was on God's work, God guided me over that bridge, he should get the fine. He can be reached via the power of prayer. And I heard nothing for about 3 weeks, and then they got back to me, said, fair enough, just pay the original toll that you should have paid and that'll be that.
Eagle.
No, this brings back immediate memories.
It's not too difficult to get to, is it either?
No.
Are we going down to the beach then?
Yeah.
Good. That's what I like. £3 to park.
I know.
They're very short spaces, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah, they're for very small cars.
Okay, so this parking space here, if I recall correctly, is where we parked. And the first thing we did was we clambered into the back of the old Galaxy, unleashed the picnic hamper and had a glass of wine, which was rather civilized.
Watch out for that poo.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, sweet.
Okay, so here we are, walking to the beach at Talacre, and not Talacre. I definitely didn't just call it that. Absolutely not. And we are recreating my date with a lady known as Bernard, but I am doing it with this man here, who is known as Captain Mustard. Nobody knows his real name, Paul.
And nobody will.
And nobody will now. You've never been here before, is that right?
Yeah, it is right, yeah, but I know you're going to give me something to remember.
Are you a fan of a beach?
Oh yeah. I love the beach. Talacre here in the estuary. So if we look over there, we'll be able to see Liverpool. And then further up, we'll be able to see Blackpool, if it's clear enough. And then up that way, we'll be able to see the Cumbrian Mountains as well. Hopefully, that'd be quite nice. Did you bring any swimwear with you?
I thought we'd just go in au naturel.
Yep, I'll go for that.
And here we go. This is a kind of magical moment in any visit to a beach, where we move through the dune area and we actually get to the beach itself, and we finally get to properly see the sea. And there it is. Wonderfully sandy beach, proper old school sand. This is fantastic. It's just perfectly, beautifully still and quiet. So, directly over there, that land there, is that the Isle of Man?
You're not joking, are you?
I take it it's not.
No.
Right.
It might be kind of that way, but it's a very long way up there.
Is it?
You won't be able to see it, not under these conditions.
Right. So is
No.
that island?
There's Liverpool up there.
Ah. Somebody's drawn a pair of boobs on the lighthouse door.
Oh, you're putting nipples on them.
There are. Look.
Oh yes, there were.
Yeah. You know when you're a kid or a teenager and something happened and you couldn't cope, you'd had your heart broken or somebody had been unkind to you or life was just unfair and seemed unmanageable and you just didn't know how to cope. Did you go through that?
Yeah, not just in my teenage years.
What did you used to do?
Listen to music, probably.
The things I like to do that I found helped were to get perspective, and I used to find that height could work. I used to go to this is when I was living in Worcestershire where I was brought up, and I would go to the top of the Malvern Hills, first of all on a bicycle, latterly in a car, and I would just sit or stand on top of the Malverns and look down on all the little lights, and this is at night, you know, and every little light is a house, and in the house would be people who had things going on in their life just like I've got in mine, and just that height and distance seemed to somehow put them into perspective, and just, I don't know exactly how it worked, it just gave you like a bigger picture and stopped you obsessing over your own thing. But the other thing I liked to do was to go to the seaside, and in those days my nearest seaside was Burnham or Brean Down, and you just, on a day like today when it's just quiet and you're surrounded by nature, and you look at the tide and you think, well, that tide's been in and out for thousands of years before I ever came to be, and it'll keep on going for millennia after I'm long gone. So the tide knows more than me, and it just keeps on coming in, coming out. And I thought maybe that's what you have to do in life. Whatever happens, you just keep on coming in, coming out, getting up, going to bed.
Be part of the... I forgot what the word is.
Warp and weft.
Warp and weft. It's not what I was thinking. Routine.
Routine.
You're one small part of the routine, and as well an insignificant part of the routine, and it's that really comparing yourself to the much bigger and more important things around you that stop you from feeling sorry for yourself.
I agree.
But I thought that's what he was telling me.
Well, I'm still agreeing with you. It's nice, isn't it?
So, why did you come here? Was it a plan? Did you have something in mind?
Not at all. Not at all. From memory, I had the picnic hamper and stuff, and I think the original plan, I found a kind of country park near to Warrington, near where Bernard was working that day. And for whatever reason, that didn't happen, and we just found ourselves driving and talking. And then we were driving somewhere along the coast road where we'd just come. And she said, I'm sure this is where I came once by accident with my son. We were out for a drive on a Sunday, and we ended up at this amazing beach with a lighthouse. And I said, oh, that sounds fantastic. Let's try and find it. So we did, and this was it.
Are you cold?
I'm not warm,
No, me neither.
but I'm not intolerably cold.
Should we have a race?
A race?
Yeah. Do you fancy a running race?
No,
No.
running is not my forte.
What about beach arm wrestling?
I mean, running was never my forte, and now it's even less my forte, 'cause it takes everything a while to kind of settle back down.
It was never mine either, but I'll give it a go.
Even when, the weird thing was that I was a national champion athlete when I was at school, and I was racing to international level.
And now you're a knackered old goat.
Well, yeah, that. But when we did cross country, I was so last that I used to miss half of the maths lesson. I could never get back in time before the end of the games lesson. I was a terrible runner. My father always said it was because runners use a totally different group of muscles to cyclists. But then that didn't seem to bother triathletes.
No,
I think I was just
making excuses.
I think it was just a bit of shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
What were you like? What was your best sport at school?
Avoiding all.
Oh, right.
I didn't like sport. Too much energy needed to actually do the things properly.
But you like doing energetic things.
Yeah, I do now, but I didn't when I was young.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, time's marching on.
It is indeed.
Suppose we'd better make a move, had we?
I reckon so.
Is this somewhere you'd come again, maybe, with your wife and the girls?
Yeah, because it's quite close, and it's very peaceful with the fact there's hardly any people around.
Lovely, isn't it? So, time to say goodbye, or perhaps au revoir, to the lighthouse and the beach, with some lovely memories of what was a very special evening. It's a shame we haven't got a bit long here. It looks as if there are some fantastic walks along the coast and in the dunes, but we can save that for another day.
Fancy a ride? You never did tell me what happened after the date. Did you live happily ever after?
After the date, there was another date when we had a night out in Chester, and then there was a lovely third date, Halloween, and we went to this super cool cinema in the posh leather seats at the back with drinks and food and watched Hocus Pocus, and then she went off with somebody better, and I've never seen her since.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the end.
That is the end.
Ah, well, you can't blame her.
Absolutely not. Enjoy your walk home.